Okay, so I'm making my way around the show, and now I have come over here to find out about an innovative digital platform that's been causing a bit of a stir. It's called Easy Education, and who better to talk to me about it than Managing Director Peter Jordan. Hi Peter, how are you enjoying the show so far?
It's good to be back here again. Very exciting. There's a nice buzz about the place this morning, and I've already seen some quite good possibles.
So let's talk about Easy Education. What's the idea behind it?
Well, when I came into teaching and I did my training, the thing that really struck me was I landed in various placements and in schools, and I thought there's a lot of technology, but there's nothing that really helped to make my job easier. And technology tended to require me to do things which I just didn't have time to do. And largely it just produced paper, which again fed back into that manual system, and there was almost no automation to speak of in terms of the overall teaching process. So I'd worked in financial services on platforms before, and I knew that it was definitely possible to create something that would really enrich the learning experience and also make life better for teachers and to help them be more effective.
And I understand that I should refer to this as software as a service, not software. Can you explain the difference to me?
Yes, so the idea of software, for example, might be you're provided with a shell, a bit like Moodle, and you're required to actually use that software to create things as you go along. So it puts a lot of the emphasis on the users to actually use the software. Whereas what we've done with our service is that we use our software to create courses. They're very much off-the-shelf propositions, and so that there are very, very few teaching tasks that are required. And because of what we do, it actually takes care of a lot of teaching tasks, so it releases time for teachers to do what they're best at, which is developing skills and intervening with individual students in class.
It's fair to say I think there are a lot of digital platforms being shared around the show and elsewhere. What makes Easy Education different from the others?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. To begin with, without being too critical, the quality of video content in secondary education has been quite poor, and so we've really attempted to raise the game in terms of that by using green screen recording and so on and so forth. We also believe that video content on its own is not hugely useful, and so we always match that up with assessments which test understanding from within the video. And the big difference in terms of what we do is that when a young person gets a question wrong in an assessment, we immediately provide them with a worked answer so that they can actually make some progress through the assessment. And really, that, if you think about it, that's just a very simple teaching process. Deliver content, test understanding, provide some feedback. Every teacher does that every day of the week, yet none of the digital solutions out there do that. They just do the first bit. They do content, they test understanding, which is why you would bracket them as summative assessment tools. But to be a formative assessment tool, you have to take that next step by providing the feedback. And what you will find by doing that is by providing more effective support for young people to work on their own, you can get them to do more work. And then a lot of teachers would say the real magic with what we do is the way we use that data to inform the teachers and assist with teaching interventions.
It's called Easy Education, so how easy is it really?
Well, we work very hard to make it as accessible as possible for everybody. And so in most of the early questions of our assessments, they will be multi-leveled, which means they're effectively scaffolded, so that what you're trying to do is embed the real basics that are going to help you to navigate your way through the rest of the assessment. So establishing very, very good practices, and by then providing the feedback following each question, it all starts to become easy. If you really do pursue it that way, and I think as well by making questions much more of a task, i.e. by having to make a number of inputs, and sometimes we use video material for the questions, it improves the engagement and it takes you away from that situation where you've got a lot of passive, disengaged clicking that goes on with these digital tools, where youngsters just sit there and go. And even worse, they will just be given another option on the question if they get it wrong, and they'll guess again. What's the point of that? There really is no point, and you've got to find a way of helping young people be successful at these things so that they get hungry to come back for more. So if they fail every time, it's hardly surprising they've got quite a negative attitude towards a lot of this sort of stuff.
I'd like to know a bit more about the visual element of your content. It seems to me that is really an important part of what you do, and I'm particularly interested in what you've been doing with AR.
Yes, so we ran into AR about 2 months ago, and what we had originally thought of doing was providing some small supporting booklets for some of our courses, and we had videos to back these up, and so automatically overnight we thought, crikey, we can connect the videos with the booklets using augmented reality, and you've changed the whole game. And rather than young people being given a book by school, taking it home and putting it somewhere where hopefully they're never going to find it again, you've got something that they're actually interested in. And it does put a smile on people's faces. Even some of the crustiest old teachers in the game are quite wowed by this.
I wanted to ask you actually, what do teachers say about the impact of easy education in their schools?
People who've adopted the platform and are using it, once schools get into it, they are very enthusiastic about it. Just to give you an example of how transformational this can be, one of our sixth form colleges, Barton Peveril in Eastleigh in Hampshire, have got 250 students doing economics A-level and just 3 teachers, and in the space of 7 months the teachers have organised the students to complete over 9,000 assessments, and believe me, they are very enthusiastic about it because it's changed the game for them, which is critical in sixth form colleges who have probably borne the brunt of all of the funding cutbacks that have come through in the last few years. So yes, I think, and the schools that see the impact it can have on results as well get very excited about it. In terms of people who haven't started to use us yet, there is definitely a process of change that they have to go through with this, and there will be a lot of people who will be, they'll even make excuses to, if we were offering them free lunch outside in one of the establishments outside the exhibition, there'll be lots of excuses about why not to go. And that's our challenge. And we invest a lot of time in onboarding schools, helping them to work with the service so they can gain the confidence which can turn them into that digitally enabled teacher that everybody would want to be.
Finally, I suppose I should ask, this is a pretty fast-moving company. What should we be looking out for over the next few years?
Well, in terms of where we are, we're very keen on developing the AR side of things. So do look out for a lot more applications of that. In terms of the courses we do, we are very focused on delivering A-level sciences and finishing off our A-level maths course, which is just year 12 at the moment, and probably doing a GCSE business course. But that will probably be more than enough for us, because these courses take a long time to build, which is maybe why nobody's really attempted it before. Because if you take our maths course, we have over 5,000 unique videos that are in the course, which take a long time to put together. Yes, that will probably do us, I would imagine.
Thank you very much. I shall definitely be watching this space.
Okay, thanks. Thanks very much for showing an interest in us and helping to promote what we're doing here.